Assalamualaikum and hi guys, so welcome back again. So this time around is the second part of the chapter 5. Okay, so I will cover on the enzyme inhibition mechanism, right? But before that, I would like to explain further for another example that using Lineweaver-Burk plot. Okay, so earlier I have already discussed with you on how to determine the Vmax and also Km Vmax from the linear plot. Okay, so when you produce this kind of plot where your 1 over Rs versus 1 Cs, you will get this kind of line, a straight line. So you can determine your slope and also you will determine Vmax from your C. Right. So next, we can also use this Michaelis-Menten and convert it into Eadie-Hofstee, okay, and also Hainsworth. This is another linear plot that you can use, but I will only focus on using Lineweaver-Burk to determine your Vm and Km, right? And the next one, we also can predict or determine, okay, the time required in order for the reaction to occur. Alright. So for example, from the Michaelis-Menten, okay. So when you substitute this equation, which is negative Rs equals to dCA dt, right? So when you combine these two and you integrate it, okay, you can estimate the time that requires in the batch system, okay, the batch reactor on using the same Km and Vmax after you have determined from the Lineweaver-Burk plot just now. So you may use this equation in your textbook, equation 7.32, to determine the time, okay, provided that you have settled the Km and Vmax and given x. Or if x is not given, you can determine the x from this equation, which is equals to your Ca, right? It's Ca equals to Ca naught 1 minus x. Okay, so this is your fundamental knowledge. Okay, so the next one, okay, I'm going to focus on this part, enzyme inhibition mechanism, right? So from your textbook, okay, you may refer, it's starting from page, I think page 410 or 413, right? So 413. So in enzyme inhibition mechanism, you will have three types of inhibition mechanism, which is competitive. The inhibition react as competitive, and non-competitive, and also uncompetitive. Okay, so let's focus on the inhibition or inhibitor act as a competitive to your enzymatic reaction. So let's say this is your enzyme, right? And then this is your substrate and this is your inhibitor. So if it is competitive inhibition, right? So this enzyme will compete with this substrate to go for to attack or to get the active site. Okay. So the mechanism step will be like this. So this is, and then normally without the inhibitor, it will be enzyme plus substrate. It will produce enzyme substrate complex, and then you produce enzyme and product. But when you have an inhibitor, the inhibitor will start to make a complex with your enzyme, okay, instead of the enzyme making enzyme substrate complex. So by increasing if you see here, by increasing the amount or the concentration of your substrate may overcome the inhibition. All right. So for the second type of the enzyme inhibition, okay, this is where you will see that the inhibitor will attack at the different site of the enzyme, not the active site. Okay, that's why you will look, the mechanism will be like this. So this is without the inhibitor. So E plus S will perform enzyme substrate and produce product. But when you have this kind of inhibitor which is non-competitive, so the inhibitor will bind together with the enzyme, okay, and this may not produce the product, okay. So increasing S cannot overcome inhibition, so it will not affect when you increase S. Not like the one before, the competitive part. When you increase S, it will help to decrease this part, this part of the mechanism, right? But for the final part, or the final type of enzyme inhibition mechanism is the uncompetitive inhibitor, right? So this, if you look at the diagram, you will see that, right? It will attack on the different part of the enzyme as well, okay, which is it won't attack the active part. Like the mechanism seems similar like the non-competitive, but actually the mechanisms that tell you it is different, right? So this is actually when you don't have any inhibitor exist in the reaction. But if you have this kind of inhibitor on uncompetitive, you will see that, okay, it will produce the enzyme inhibitor substrate. So by increasing S favors the inhibition by inhibitor. So you look, this part also similar like this part, where when you increase substrate, it will favors the product formation. This is similar with this, alright? So this is where when you plot the graph for these three kind of enzyme inhibition. So this is Michaelis-Menten plot, the top part, okay? And then this is the one when you use the Lin-Weaverberg plot, right? So if you look here for the competitive inhibitor, you see when you plot the first enzymatic reaction, so this the straight line, the bold line is actually represent the enzymatic reaction line, right? And this one represent the inhibitor line. So when you have a competitive inhibitor, the line will have a similar 1 over Vmax, right? So the intercept will be similar, but a different slope. And when you plot this, the similar graph, which is 1 over Rs versus, or 1 over V0 versus 1 over S, you will see that it will have, actually you will not have the similar intercepts, y-intercept, or similar slope. So this, by this plot, it will show you this is actually for non-competitive inhibitor. Represent the I is actually the non-competitive inhibitor. Whereas when you plot this, when you plot a graph for uncompetitive inhibitor, you will see that it will have a similar slope. You see here the slope that represent by the inhibitor and the slope that represent by the enzymatic without the inhibitor. But it will give you a different 1 over Vmax, right? So I'm going to show you one example of the partial question. Okay, for example, okay, this part. Okay, so let's have a look on this example. Okay, this is the semester 1 2020, right? So if you look here, an enzymatic formation of product A in a batch reactor at 37 degrees C. So it will produce this kind of data. This is your CS, okay, substrate concentration. And this is product A formation rate without the hydrogen peroxide. So if you look further, this is formation of product A with hydrogen peroxide. So this is the enzymatic reaction without the inhibitor, right? So the first question I was asking you to plot Lin-Weaverberg to determine the MM parameters, which is Vm and Km. So what are you going to do is by plotting 1 over Rs versus 1 over Cs. So you need to transform this data into 1 over Rs and 1 over Cs. And then the B part will ask you, okay, a 2 times 10 to the power minus 5 molar of hydrogen peroxide with inhibitor constant Ki equals to 1. Okay, added into the reactor. Determine MM parameter for VM and KM of a product A, formation and type of inhibitor. So the question asks you to determine the Vmax and Km, and from the plot, they want you to determine what type of inhibitor. Whether the hydrogen peroxide act as non-competitive, uncompetitive, or competitive inhibitor, right? So the C part propose the inhibitor reaction pathway. Okay, although the mark seems big, but it's actually a simple mechanism, right? So let's have a look on the answer, right? So this is the initial question, right? So you have S and also your RS. So you want to plot a Lindbergh, you need to convert it into 1 over S and also 1 over RS. Alright, so you get this data. Then you plot. Okay, so when you plot it, okay, this is the part without inhibitor. This is with inhibitor. That's why when you plot, okay, I'm not sure whether which one, the blue one or I think the blue one is the without enzyme, without inhibitor. So you will see from the graph, okay, you need to plot it manually. This is using Excel, right? So from 1 over Vmax, okay, the graph will produce 0.071. So you can determine your Vmax is actually 114. Okay, from the slope, it will be 7 to the power of minus 8, right? So Km is Vmax over Km equals to slope. So, and then you can determine your Km. So you do the same thing with the line with inhibitor, right? And then you will see this is the pattern of the graph. Okay, so from the graph you can say that it is what? Competitive inhibitor, because they are sharing the same intercept, which is 1 over Vmax. Okay, and then what is the mechanism? So for the earlier in my lecture just now, okay, so the mechanism will be, for competitive, it will be E plus S. Okay, this is without inhibitor, but with inhibitor it will be this way. So this is the answer. So it's similar, right? So I think this chapter is simple. Okay, so later on I will try to give you some other example with regards to this chapter. So that's only the parts that I'm going to cover for this chapter. Okay, see you. Bye. Good luck.